we're recording. So go ahead and go to VCarve Pro. Double click. Now we would put the sheet size. All we're doing is cutting a little small 5" by 5" bracket now. So hit create new file and just put 10 by 10 in there. And remember, you don't need any of this. Bottom left, that's it. Now the only reason I would put center there, let's just say you had an old saw blade you want to cut into.
Okay.
And you have that little hub here in the center. So what you do is center it over there 0 and it'll cut everything out in the middle. So it's really nice. But back to bottom left on this one. Press OK. So we're going to do a basic just square right now. So click on the square. That's the job dimensions. So square is right there. Alright, so we want our anchor point to be at 0, 0. You could draw it anywhere on there you wanted to, but we're going to do this from 0, 0. Let's just go ahead and put radius external edges on it, which is going to, why have to grind them when you can just round them off already? Alright, and the radius on that is going to be 0.25, so it's going to be, or 0.2, either way. Here we go. Alright, and that square is going to be 5 by 5. Let's hit create. So now we're right there in the center there, so close that out. So now we're going to put a hole right in the middle of it. So click on here, and let's do a 1" hole. So put 1" right here. That's, yeah, right now. Now hover over the center over here, and you're going to see, there you go, your 2.5, 2.5, you see that? Just left click once. Boom. You're in the center.
Oh.
Okay, so close that out. So now you can either hit Control A, or you can select here and then drag all the way over. So that selects everything. Go File, Export as a DXF. Okay. So name it. Alright, so go to your desktop, click on that, and then go to 3D Restoration. Open that up. Save it in there. Boom. Okay. Exit out of that. It takes a minute for it to save. Now, here's the deal. If I had, let me show you this. If I had all these cancel. If I had all these lines here and I did a bunch of layout work and I'm going to cut it out of a piece of thin gauge and put it up against the car and this new little, I want to keep these guidelines. When I export as a DXF, it will not keep these guidelines. So if you spent an hour, you don't have those guidelines anymore. So the only reason I say to save, if it's a very difficult project that you're trying to go, you want to go back to and say, hey, now I want to move this. This line needs to be moved relative to where I'm at, a negative ½ inch. And watch it move. See? So that's the only reason why you would actually, when you say export as a DXF, file export as a DXF, you save that, blah blah blah, and that's the test. Save. Yeah, we'll replace it, and then you close down here. If you say no, you lost your guides. If you say yes, you keep your guides. Okay. So this is saving a VCarve file, which.
What would be the reason for not saving it by default?
You just have extra, like,
space.
It's extra spaces and stuff like that. It's not that much space. So just to show you, we'll say yes, and we'll call that test. And just for your video, we can see that. Get rid of that DXF on it, so let's make sure it's the same name. And we're still in 3D Restoration. Hit save. So the nice part about that, let's get out of this now. Alright. So the nice thing when I open up, so let's open up let's just open up the DXF. Okay, so the DXF file, which is right here. no line.
No lines.
Okay. Now, if I open up the VCAR file, everything's the same.
Everything's there.
Okay, so for you, this may be important. So I just wanted you to have that.
Yeah.
All right, so that's it. All right, so now opening up ProNest.
Don't recommend having them both open at the same time. Does it matter?
I mean,
Depends
yeah,
on
it
the
doesn't
computer.
matter.
Yeah.
On this computer, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
You don't want multiple programs on your controller over
No.
there, but on ours, I'll have 5 ProNest open down there. Now,
Oh,
every
really?
time it's open, it slows it down
Oh
even
yeah.
more.
Oh yeah.
Go down and see if it's open. Oh, there
There
it
we go.
All right. So close. Now, just for training video, go to File. Enter your name there. Test. You would make sure everything's chosen. We know the material's right.
Fine, that's right.
Yeah. Just drop down, hit create. Blue line's going to spin now. Let it do its thing. And it's going to pop up. So you click on one time and it shows you the preview. There's no CAD layers again. So go to CAD import. Hit that checkbox which says cut all of the one layers over right there. Now it's there. Now come back to that. And double click. And now we got our lead ins and lead outs. Now, if you don't mind these gaps, you could just hit output part, but just to learn a little more, go back to return to nesting. Alright, so just drag that in and just let go when you drag. There you go. And it automatically clicks on that. So let's change this over here. Let me show you. Yours will not have this in here. Let me show you where it is. So go up to View. Click on Separations on the check mark. See it disappeared. Click back on it again. That's how you put it on there. So go ahead and click on this one right here.
Plate in.
Yep. And then put 0.125 or whatever you'd want.
Yeah.
Alright, so now click on there on the screen. Click on it once. Now use your arrow keys and bump it over.
Okay, it takes it all the way to the end.
And then bump it up. There you go. Alright, so now click on the screen. There you go. Now let's move our lead in so you have it on the video. Go to Nest and go to Leads. Zoom in with your mouse. If you hold the center mouse down like that, now you can drag over. There we go. It's about good. Click over here on the side. Now close that lead. Go back to home again. Click on that part. Now bump over again. Now you don't have that lead in the way.
Oh, I got you.
There you go.
Okay. So
So-
that's the reason it stayed wide on that side was because of the lead.
Notice how that's blue and highlighted.
Okay.
Click off it and click back on it. If it's blue and highlighted, go back to home. You will not be able to output.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So make sure you're not. Now go to output.
Well, I'll get screwed up on that.
Yeah. Yeah. And so this is checked. And so you're good. So name it test. Now here's the thing. It's defaulting up here to output. We want to make sure we're putting it on our drive over here. So click, go down to USB drive F. There you go. And now output. There's the green there.
Okay. Close it.
Yep. Close that out.
Okay.
Turn this off here. So when you come over here, open up. Go ahead and put that in first. So you put that in. It's going to give you a pop-up, so you want to drag your the name of that. What do we name it? Test.
Yes.
Drag. Click on it once and drag it there. Close that down now. Open up Mach 4. Double click. choose it, and press OK. Blue line's going to come up. No blue line, no communication.
Gotcha.
Three things: reset,
So,
THC on, and then reference all home. Hit the reference all home, the top part.
gotcha.
There you go. And then what's going to happen is it's going to hit the Z limit's going to go up, X is going to come over, and then the back's going to come. All right, so now turn your laser pointer on, which is right there on the screen.
There.
There. And use your arrow keys and jog your machine to the corner of the material. And we're going to cut like right here. So you can put it there. About right there, that's good. Now jog your head down to about 1 inch above the material using the page up, page down. That's good. A little bit more. Okay. Now what you're going to do is you're going to hit 0x, 0y, and 0z. And again, the reason why that's not zeroed there is because it's in laser pointer offset. Alright. Now you're going to load G-code. You want to go to your desktop there. Test. Press open. And there's the part. Okay, so now you're going to move to check part fit. Down here on the bottom, yeah. And it's going to ask, is the torch clear to move? Just make sure there's no wrenches or anything sitting on top of the machine. And it does a border trace for you. Just an outside border. Alright. So you make sure now you kind of look over here at your guide and you say you're cutting 14 gauge. And you're at 78 volts. So then you come down and you set your 78 volts by turning that knob. That's it.
Okay.
And your plasma, you make sure your plasma over there is set, and it is.
Okay.
You hit cycle start. Green right there. And it's going to ask, is the torch clear to move? Again, you're looking. It's going to save the 0. Go for it. And now it's going to cut. Going to pierce the hole in the center first. Alright, just for training, go to your move to at the top. Go to switch part position 1. Machine. We'll go there. Now we set that by using current position, and you just click on it, it automatically saves that. It moves out of the way. And then we can come over here and check out your parts.